Hello everyone, welcome to the video series of NAT configuration on Checkpoint Firewall. In this video series, we will see how we can implement different types of NAT. This topology we will be using in this entire video series. We have standalone firewall with 4 interfaces. One interface configured towards internet, one interface is connected towards R1 and LAN machine, and then we have another interface connected towards R2, and we have one management machine to manage the firewall. I have also mentioned IP schema this time. So please do not change IP addresses. So you have to configure IP addresses like it is mentioned in this table. Then I have 8 tasks in this assignment. So I will divide 8 tasks in 4 videos. So per video you will see solution of 2 tasks. So in this video we'll start with task 1. Now task 1 says configure NAT rule using manual NAT so that subnet 136.121.0/24 and 136.122.0/24 should be able to access internet via firewall interface IP address. Now it also says create appropriate security policy to allow this traffic and make sure security policy should not allow any traffic. And then we have to do some verification. Let me go to the test machine and then start creating a security policy and then NAT rule. So I'm on the base machine. Let me see if my VPN is up or not. VPN is down, so let me first connect to the VPN and then we will see how we can configure this security policy and NAT rule. So let's wait for a second. It is connected. We should see in a moment the RDP is working. It's up now. Okay, so I have a firewall and this topology is up to date with 192.168.70.102 IP address, which is management, and then one towards R1, then second towards R2, and then we have internet. All good. So before we start making any changes, I'll quickly see if I can reach all the subnets in my network or not. So I have console access. You can also take this console access via COM8. So admin 123, and then first try to reach internet. Okay, it's good. Then try to reach loopback, which is on R1. Perfect. Then try to reach loopback, which is on R2. So I could see my connectivity is through. From firewall I can reach all the subnets. Now back to firewall. Right click, add rule below. So we will name this rule as internet access, for example. Now requirement was 136.1.121 and 136.1.122, these two networks, 122 and then 121. These two networks should be able to access internet. So destination would be any, because we are talking about internet here. And then VPN, left out this option. Services. Now whatever services are required for normal browsing, you have to select that. For example, HTTP I need HTTPS. Then DNS is required for name to IP resolution, and then I will allow ICMP protocol. Select the action as accept and then logging enabled. So we have security policy in place. Now go to NAT rules. So this is the default rule comes with the firewall. Because of this object, let me delete this. So now no rule exists. Now NAT rule, like we discussed in last class, it has been divided into 2 sections. One is original packet and second is translated packet. So once traffic will come, what will be the source IP address, destination IP address in service, and when traffic will go out, how you want to translate those addresses. So instead of IP address here, single IP address 136.1.121 and 136.1.122, I want to create a group first. So group name I will specify internet, for example, access. Then add the subnet and call this subnet in NAT rule, internet access. So destination would be any service we can control with the help of security policies. So I'll keep the service as any here. Right click, add hide, and then you need to select the IP address from which you want to do a NAT. So let me create a object here, NAT hyphen 203.115.100 and then 102. That's the firewall interface IP address, 203.115.100 102. Perfect. Okay, destination will remain original and service will also remain original. So let me push the policy. Okay, and once the policy has been pushed, we will test the internet access from this test machine itself, because this test machine has got IP address in 136.1.121 range. So let me open command prompt, for example, and IP config. So it has got 136.1.121.100 IP address. So from this machine I should be able to access internet once the policy is applied. So let's wait. Policy pushes on 70%, and once it is done we can test the access, and we will also verify the logs after the testing. Almost done. First basic test, which is try to ping 8.8.8.8. I should see, okay, I can ping 8.8.8. that means internet is working from this machine. Now let me go to the browser and access google.com, and meanwhile I will launch Smart View Tracker so that we can see the logs. Okay, let's wait tracker to load, and then we can go ahead and try to access using browser. Let me close this, Google Chrome, and try to access, for example, google.com. google.com, and awesome, I can access internet. Good. Go to tracker. So we did run couple of tests here. So first was ICMP, for example. Let's filter based on source IP address. Let's say, so right click 100 and okay. I'm sorry. ICMP. So I could see 136.1.121.100 is the source, destination is 8.8.8, and interesting stuff here is traffic is getting NATed with 203.115.100.102 IP address. And we did initiate couple of HTTPS traffic. So 136.1.121.100, then there is a public IP address 443 as the service, and then I could see 203.115.100.102 and 203.115.100.102 as the netted IP address. Interesting stuff here is source port is 3191, and we could see translated source port is now 10,004, and this is something we discussed. When source port is greater than 1024, translated port will always be in the range 10,000 to 60,000. So that's something we can see. Let's go to second task. Now task 2 says configure NAT rule using manual NAT so that subnet 150.1.1.0 should be able to access internet via virtual IP address. Also create appropriate security policy, and security policy should not allow any traffic. So this time we are not going to do a NAT with interface IP address. This time we will be doing a NAT with some virtual IP address. So let's try that. Go to test machine again. Security policies. Then we can utilize the same security policy because requirement is almost similar, that the new subnet 150.1.1.0 wants to access internet, and NAT rule will be different in this case because the IP address is different. So we have object already. So click on objects and add 150.1.1.0. Security policy is good. Now go to NAT rule, right click, add rule below. Add the subnet as 150.1.1.0. Destination would be any, service would be any, right click, add hide, and we need to create a new object here. And this new object will be for the new IP address, which is NAT-203.115.100 and 105. 203.115.100.105. Okay. Click on OK. We have a NAT rule, but this is a virtual IP address, and manual NAT by default does not do proxy R. So we need to configure proxy R for this virtual IP address. So two changes are required. One is one-time change, and for that go to File, Policies, Global Properties, and then click on NAT. You need to enable this option, which is Merge Manual Proxy R Configuration. This is something we have discussed in class, why we need to do this. So click on OK. Now go to browser, for example. Browser on test machine. So we have our configuration here. So scroll down, and then we have proxy R. Click on add, and then IP address 203.115, then 100, then 105. Which interface will provide the MAC address? That will be Ethernet 3. That's the public interface. Leave other options. Click on save, and do read this. Changes to the proxy ARP list will take effect on policy install. So that means we have to install a policy once. So go to dashboard, click on install policy. So we have security policy in place, we have NAT policy in place, we have proxy ARP configuration. So we should be able to access internet from the loopback. So I am on R1. Let's wait for policy to be pushed, and we can start the traffic. We can trigger the traffic, ping 8.8.8.8 interface, which is 150.1.1.1. So it's not working as of now. Let's wait couple of seconds. About to push, changes are about to push. Uh, 84%, and then done. So let's see if we can access internet. Still we cannot access internet. So verify the same in logs, or let me try again. For example, verify the same in logs. Let me remove the filter, add the filter. Filter is 150.1.1.1. 150.1.1.1, add, and let's see if we can see the traffic on firewall or not. So I could see traffic on the firewall, and I could see traffic is getting netted with IP address 203.115.100.105. Maybe proxy ARP, the router, with the internet router managed by ISP, that router is not doing proxy ARP, because I could see traffic is getting netted, I can see traffic is going out. And let me see again if we have response or not. No, we do not have response. So let me verify quickly what exactly is the problem here. There was some issue with the IP address on the ISP side. So now if I try to, so back to R1, now if I try to reach 8.8.8 from interface 150.1.1.1, I can ping now. And if we verify that in logs, we should be able to see that traffic is getting netted via IP address 203.115.100.105. Object name is wrong, which is 203.115, but the actual IP address is 203.115.100.105. If you go back, go to NAT rule, and the IP address is 203.115.105. So that's it. That's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching this video. In next video, I will cover task 3 and 4, when we'll talk about more on destination NAT. Thank you very much.